So I'm about to change the strings on my bass. I've just bought these, a Labella Vapor Shield nickel wound for fretless bass mainly. They cost me £57, which is a huge amount of money, but apparently they last up to 5 times longer than untreated strings. So we're going to see how that works out, whether they're any good. I currently use DR strings, and this is their Sunbeam range, and they are for me the benchmark. They're absolutely fantastic. As soon as I put a new set of strings on, I find myself writing songs inspired by the sound they create. They really are so good, and I've tried all sorts of strings, even Tomastic Infelt, which cost about £60, and I was quite underwhelmed with them. They just really didn't do the job. DR Sunbeams cost me about £35. Every 2 months I'm having to replace them. It's quite a lot of money to spend. So I'm hoping that these Labella Vapor Shield strings are going to save me some money and give me good sound. Time will tell. I'll update this video once a month, and we'll see how the strings are actually progressing. If you're a newbie to fretless bass and you want to know what strings to buy, really there's 2 types. Essentially, you don't want anything that's going to chew up your fretboard. So steel strings are an absolute no-go. They will absolutely ruin your fretboard. I would either choose flat wound strings. They'll give you that really old school 1960s thumpy sound, and that's not my favourite. I like to really hear that fretless tone, where you've got all the changing as it's degrading and the sound's changing. That classic fretless sound, and for that you need round wound. That's going to give you the tone. So you really need to choose nickel round wound, because it won't chew up your fretboard, at least not for a long time. Eventually you're going to have your fretboard retreated, but the compromise is worth it just to get that tone. I'm just going to record some classic sounds that I do, some techniques that I use, and then I'll do the exact same thing when I come back in a short while with the new strings refitted, so we can immediately see the difference between 2-month-old Sunbeams and brand new Labella Vapor Shield strings. So I quite often use a minor 7th chord, 3-note chord. So I often do the, and then the low B. I do like the sound from the D to the C. Now that's starting to sound a bit woolly now on this. Also, there's a really nice tone around the middle of the fretboard, which sounds almost double bass like, not quite the same, but it's got some characteristics that are similar, so I'll try those as well. So okay, that's it. So now I'm going to change the strings. I've changed the strings, and let me tell you, it's a pain changing bass strings on an acoustic bass. It takes a while. I can give you the upshot. They're not as good by quite a long margin, actually. So you can tell they're new strings. They are brighter than the DRs I've just taken off. So, but for a new set of strings, that's not that good. It's okay. I get the sound I want, and if that lasts 4 months, that might be worth thinking about. According to them, if it's 5 times longer than normal strings, I should see between 8 and 10 months before I have too much degradation in the sound. But what I'm really disappointed in is the low B. It's actually worse than the 2-month-old DR low B that I've just taken off, and that's really disappointing. There's not much sustain, really not there at all. I'm playing acoustically, so maybe I'm not being fair on it. Maybe through an amp it'll sound different, but it's not ringing on as long as the DR strings. There we go. So I'm just going to record those phrases again. So and there we have it. I will be switching back to DR strings. It's going to be a while because I do want to give this a good test, and hopefully you can see they may be for you, but not for me for sure. So keep looking, and eventually on the last and final update I will play brand new DR Sunbeam strings. The string sizes are the same. It's a low B is a 130, which is the same as the DR set that I buy. So for all intents and purposes they should be pretty close, but they're not. This, however, happens all the time. I have tried lots and lots of strings, and without overblowing it, the DR strings are absolutely sensational. A brand new set for about 6 weeks of constant playing will just sound absolutely incredible. So it's hard for any other string to get there, I think, and I guess the treating, maybe it still has some effect on it. There we are. Subscribe to my channel and you'll find out when the updates are, and feedback, any comments you like. If there's anything I missed on what I should have really shown, please tell me. This is my first review of a guitar or string, so I'm sure I missed something useful for you. Just let me know and I'll add that. Thanks a lot.